Alright guys, what's going on? It's Fanatic Football right here. You got Carlos here talking. I'm going to talk to you about Arsenal today. Today I'm going to talk to you about the reasons why Arsene Wenger shouldn't be at the club anymore. I'm not saying that I want him to get sacked, but I just feel that maybe at the end of the season that he should just part ways and move on and just leave what he's done for the club and its legacy at that. Because I don't want him tarnishing his legacy, but we'll get into that later. Alright, I don't have really a number right now. How many reasons? I'm just going off the top of my head. Just thought I'd freestyle it today. So, I guess one of the main reasons would be his transfer policy. I know right now, as I'm recording this, it's I guess Lucas Perez and Mustafi are undergoing medicals, so they could sign for the club. So that's great news for Arsenal. I think that they might be spending about 100 million total on all the transfers they made so far over the summer, which is big because you don't see it from Arsenal at all. But I just feel that it's too late, and that these signings are kind of like signings to just appease the fans because everyone was angry that they didn't sign a main striker. We had gone after Vardy, Higuain, or supposedly they were looking at Higuain, Lacazette, and none of those materialized. So I think just that they knew that the fans were getting mad about not signing a striker, and the club knows they need a striker to have somebody challenge Giroud up front. They went with Perez, which I saw a video today, and they were saying, people in the video, it said that people were like kind of like, yeah, like you need to have like a list of signings during the summers of like who your main targets are going to be. You may not get your first target or your second target. So Perez might have been third, fourth, or fifth down that list. We don't know. The club knows. But I just feel that it just shows the lack of ambition the club has. Because if we were a big club as we say we are, then we would have signed Higuain or a Lacazette. When Arsene himself says that he's not worried about spending money, he's looking at more about the quality of the player. Which he also mentioned he looks at the resale value as one of the four things when he buys a player, which I don't understand why you look at the resale value if the intention would be to keep the player and let him stay at the club and possibly like retire from that club when he's done so many things for the club, obviously trying to win trophies for Arsenal. So I don't agree with his transfer policy, but that's one of the main reasons is his transfer policy. The next reason is his trust in players. There was a point a couple years ago where Aaron Ramsey was just playing really shitty, and he kept putting Aaron Ramsey in every single game, playing him. I feel that he like has too much faith in the players and won't bench them and play someone else who's actually like on a hot streak because he has so much confidence in that other player. Even though if they could be playing lousy, he'll still try and play that player. And then everyone knows that he shouldn't be playing. Aaron Ramsey is just like a main example I can think of off the top of my head. But just his sense of relying too much on them, I guess. Or not that he's believing in them too much, because as a coach you want to believe in the players, but just I guess that he puts too much confidence in the player, even though they're performing lousy. So he relies on that instead of, I feel like, trying to win the game. Another reason would be his use of substitutes. When like players are injured, or it's always like in a vital game, like with Alexis last year when he played, and we knew he was injured, and he still played him, I believe it was against Norwich. Then he got injured. Instead of just not sitting him out and playing one of the substitutes and like rotating the bench, the players around, he sacrificed that and he got injured and ended up hurting us. Or during the game, if we are losing, he seems to always wait till like the 75th minute to make his substitutes when they're probably not going to have a major impact at that point in the game because only about 15 minutes left to play. And it's a lot for a player to come in 15 minutes of the game and try and make a huge impact, either if you're behind down 2 goals to try and get you back in the game, or even try and push it for a win. You're asking a lot of that player where he's not your starter normally, so now you're saying, okay, you're my bench player, now come on and try and create something and make some magic happen out of it. So there would be the use of his substitutes. The fourth thing would be his stubbornness. Some of these all tie in together, but just the fact that as football has evolved and changed, with whether it be the transfers, tactics, which we'll get to. Um, he doesn't seem to change. He's still stuck in his old ways, and he's not adapting to the modern way of football, which is, now it's like leaving him behind because all the other top coaches seem to be adapting, and he's not adapting, which is a huge thing. And as you can see, it's affecting the club because we are a big club, but I feel like the board and Wenger treat the money that we have as if we're a small club and we can't afford these things. When a lot of the bigger clubs can kind of use their weight that they have and the money they have to push other clubs around and say, you know, I'm buying that player, they're coming here. Arsenal should be doing that too. If we want quality, when there was like Higuain, like I said, if you want to bring him in, or even Suarez, when we try to put in that 40 million plus £1 bid, that just shows you right there. He said that he's not afraid to spend money on quality, and Suarez, even though Brian may not have wanted him because of like his antics on the field and off the field, he does score goals and he does create goals. But that showed you that he didn't have like the ambition to push forward for that. Maybe kind of a bad example just because Suarez, I don't know what you guys think of him as a player. I mean, he's good as a player, just personality-wise as a person. What he does on and off the field is a little bit different. But that's going on to like another subject. So yeah, just his main stubbornness on him being cheap, on trying to bring players into the club, on using relying too much on the same players. All that I think just comes down to him being stubborn and not being able to cope with the modern football and how it's evolving and being able to adapt to that. I think we're on reason number 5 now. I'd say his tactics. He always seems to keep the same tactics no matter who we play. And same formation, which I don't understand why he won't change his tactics or his formation depending on the team we're playing, because it's not going to work for every single team. When teams come play us, they know how we play, and teams adapt to that and give us a hard time. So you're not going to play Stoke City with a certain formation and tactic the way you play Bayern or Barcelona or United or Chelsea. All of them play different styles, so you would have to change your tactics and maybe your formation a bit to adapt to that to try and win the game. But he keeps it the same way throughout every single game, and it gets frustrating because teams know that what we're going to do, so they just prepare for it, and a lot of times they get results in the big games when we should win those games. If you look at like Monaco in the Champions League, we're all like, yeah, we're going to go through, and then we ended up losing. Those are just examples of like him going back to being stubborn, not being able to adapt. Like I said, a lot of these things all tie in together. I just try to break them up like into like little categories for each. Those are like the main reasons why I think his time is done. I don't want him to like tarnish his legacy because I do appreciate what he's done for the club. I just don't think now that he's the right man to move the club forward to the next level. That's like where I'm kind of angry about the whole thing. Like, I'm grateful for what he's done for the club. He's done a lot with the Emirates and us being financially stable to like maintain ourselves. But that's what his role was, as a business person, to get us to that point. I feel now we need a new coach to take us to the next level to constantly win trophies. Because I do feel Wenger has underachieved for being considered a great coach. If you look at like Ferguson, how many trophies he's won. Mourinho, I don't like Mourinho, but like he wins wherever he goes. Coaches like that win trophies. Wenger's been at Arsenal 20 years. They've been to the Champions League final once, and he's lost it, and he hasn't been to the final since. So it's kind of hard for me to say he's a great coach in the sense that he hasn't won that many trophies. He's a great coach for the fact that he's stayed at one club and built that club, yes, but for winning trophies, that's a whole different story on that. And I guess one of the last reasons is that after 20 years, he can still not zipper up his coat. You've gone through Nike and Puma. You'd think by now the man would learn how to zipper up his coat and not struggle and get caught on camera struggling to zipper up his coat. So I guess that's my main reason why he should go. No, just kidding. But, alright guys, tell me what you guys think. If you like this video, please hit the like button, leave your comments down below.